Cheers. Maybe. Mine is like a tiny bite and yours is huge. Aloha friends, and welcome back to my kitchen adventures. Tonight we're going to be doing a weeknight meal that comes together in 30 minutes. Fingers crossed. We'll just put it together quickly. It's a new recipe that will be in my 100 New Recipes in a Year series that I'm working on and continue to work on. So if you have any fun recipes that you'd love for me to try, please share those with me down below because I would love to make some of your awesome recipes. So this recipe is, again, a garlic noodle recipe. It's just garlic, a sauce with some noodles. So for the noodles, the recipe said you can do some wheat noodles. I didn't really have any, so I'm going to use these chow mein stir-fry noodles that cook in maybe 1 to 2 minutes. And then it also said you can use spaghetti noodles, which she often uses. So I'm going to try it with some spaghetti noodles. So on the stove, I'll have 2 pots going for my noodles. The recipe also didn't call for meat. It's a weeknight dinner meal that we're making, and my meat-loving husband requested some meat in our dish. So we're adding some ground pork, but you can put any kind of meat in it if you want meat. If you don't want meat, add vegetables. I saw this late last night thinking I was craving some garlic noodles. So let's get to making it. All right, so now we're gonna put our ground pork in here and get that cooked up. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in here because I want it to be a little crispy. Crispy. So we're going to let that sit and crisp up. So I've got my water boiling for my noodles, and it looks like my spaghetti noodle water is ready. As I was debating about spices, I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I'm hoping that the sauce will flavor the meat also. And some pepper. Can't go wrong with salt and pepper. All right, we'll let that cook. So I'm going in with about this much pasta. Let's see if I can break it apart and put that in. We'll let that cook to al dente. This recipe calls for a bulb of minced garlic. I don't have that, so I've just got some garlic paste and some minced garlic. It is garlic noodles, so it's gonna be garlicky. We'll have to expect that. That smells good already. Then we're gonna go in with some oyster sauce. This is a new jar of oyster sauce, so it's not coming out super great, but we're gonna get some in here. There we go. Nice. Just use the good old butter knife trick. Some brown sugar. Some fish sauce. Some shoyu. Oil. and some black pepper. We're going to give that a mix. I forgot the chicken bouillon. It's very aromatic. Look at that. All right. So we're going to set our sauce aside. Okay. I'm going to check on our meat. That's coming along really well. Continue to get that cooked till it's cooked all the way through. So while our meat is cooking, our noodles are going, our sauce is done, and now I'm just going to prep some green onions for garnish, scissors, kitchen shears, make this really simple. Or you can use a knife and a cutting board. Whatever you have to get your garnish ready. Really love how simple that is. And in no time at all, we've got our green onions ready. We're getting there. This is mostly done. So I'm going to let this sit in that oil to crisp up and brown. So now that our ground pork is ready, I'm going to add in some butter. So at this point, the recipe says to put in your garlic sauce in the mix here. And get that sizzling. Very sizzly. Smells delicious. Now our chow mein noodles are almost done. So in the recipe, she tosses everything together. Since I'm using two different noodles, I'm going to do it in two separate bowls. Okay. Our chow mein noodles are done, so I'm going to drain those. I have more of the spaghetti noodles. So I'm going to just toss that around. It's certainly easier to toss around in a larger bowl. That's okay. And then we'll toss around our chow mein noodles. There doesn't seem to be very much sauce. That might be user error. So I've got two different sauces, I've got two different noodles here. The same sauce. I'm half tempted to throw it all together. Maybe I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put it all together. How's that? If you don't want to do that, do you? Just use what you've got. That's kind of the fun thing about making a new recipe is that you just make it and you hope for the best, and sometimes it turns out great and sometimes maybe not, but you always learn something for it. I know I always do. So now that that has been tossed together, I'm gonna put on our Parmesan cheese. Now I've never tried, as far as I know, I've never tried a Asian recipe that had Parmesan cheese in it. Maybe I have and I just didn't know. I was blissfully unaware, but we're gonna trust the process. we're going to get that plated up and tell you what we think. Okay, Paul's here to help me taste test this. So these are garlic noodles with an addition of ground pork. I did it in different order. I combined the noodles. So it's a little different, but we're going to eat it anyways. So let's try it out.
Smells great. So good.
It's very tasty. Really taste the Parmesan cheese. Even combining the noodles is pretty good. Just as long as you don't cook your noodles together, because as you could see, the chow mein noodles cooked real quick, and the spaghetti noodles take 8 to 9 minutes to al dente. What do you think, Paul?
Really, really nice flavor. I don't know if it's the garlic or the garlic and the butter. Just it's very good together, and the pork goes really well with it. Actually, I think.
The garlic, again, her recipe calls for a whole bulb of garlic. I didn't have that, but I just used what I had in the fridge. All of these things are staples in our pantry that we just kind of try to figure out what to make, and it turned out great. So I hope you enjoyed my kitchen adventure. This was really fun to try different things. Might not have gone perfectly, but the end product is delicious, and that's what really matters. So go ahead, make it, eat it, and enjoy. Until next time.